One time when I was in middle school, I saw a picture of a Victoria's Secret angel and I thought that they weren't a human. So today we're going to be doing a makeup look that is inspired by Victoria's Secret angel. All of the products I use today are listed in the description, and there are also timestamps if you'd like to skip to a specific makeup step. Let's get started with this look. Alright, to start us out, we are actually going to be doing brows first, which if you've watched some of my videos, you know that I normally don't start with brows. But today we're going to be doing soap brows, so I think it would be better to start with them first. So I just have my soap here and a spoolie, and I'm just gonna style my brows. Just so you know, I've never done soap brows before, so I have no idea if it's actually gonna look good on me. I actually really like the way these brows turned out, but I might have to add some color at the back to the sparse areas I have. So now I'm using this Laneige brow cushion Cara. It's just that my eyebrows are really full at the front but not at the back, so I still need to draw on my eyebrows. Alright, now the brows are done and I'm gonna move on to my base. I'm gonna go in with my Vanilla Co Prime Primer. I normally just use my hands to apply this, but today I'm gonna be using a sponge. This primer is really good at smoothing out my skin and making my pores less obvious, which is what Victoria's Secret angels are always looking like. Now I'm gonna go in with some color corrector. My skin is by no means perfect, and I feel like color correcting kind of helps me achieve a more flawless base. I gotta be really careful not to get product in my brows. This is one of the many reasons why I don't do my brows first. Alright, now for my base. This is really important because Victoria's Secret angels usually have a really glowy base, like they're glowing from within, but I am somebody who needs a lot of coverage to get a flawless base. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be putting on the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I got this small little mini 1 gram sample just because I don't know what my shade is. This looks like a pretty good shade. This is gonna give me a really glowy base, but it doesn't have that much coverage. So after that, I'm gonna be layering a skin tint on top of this e.l.f. liquid thing. This tinted moisturizer is from NARS, and it's pretty good. It's not full coverage, it gives sheer coverage, but I think that's good enough because I really want to keep this look as natural as I can when it comes to the base. Now I'm gonna use a concealer from Luna, and I'm just gonna spot conceal. I've really been having a bad skin moment recently, so there's a lot to cover. Alright, now we're gonna be brightening up the middle of our face. This time we're gonna use the lightest shade in the pot concealer. I'm gonna take a flat brush, and I'm just gonna be putting it in these areas. And I'm using this pot concealer to also carve out my brows. Alright, I need to be really careful with my brows. They were looking good at the beginning of this video. I don't know what happened. Alright, now I'm going to be contouring my face with this Fenty contour stick. So I'm gonna go down to my jawline, and I'm just gonna draw a triangle here. Now the thing about these models is that their cheekbones are always just sticking out of their face. So I know I don't usually contour my cheekbones, but today I'm gonna go a little bit heavier on my cheekbones. And obviously I have to contour my forehead. I use a sponge to blend out all of my cream products, but I've seen a lot of people use brushes instead, so maybe I might get into using that as well. I'm not sure if you guys can see the difference, but you can just see this side has more dimension than this side. I know the camera tends to wash me out a lot, especially with my cream products. Alright, next on the list is cream blush. I'm gonna be putting this blush pretty high up my face because I find that these models often look like they got a facelift or something. I'm gonna put a bit on my eyes too, just because it's a habit, I guess. And I'm just gonna put a little bit at the bottom of my nose. This shade is really nice, but you guys might not be able to see it in the camera. Alright, now I'm gonna set my face in place with some powder. I'm using the Innisfree No Sebum Color Mineral Powder. We are gonna try not to put too much because I want to maintain the glow on my skin. So I'm using a smaller blush brush. Alright, and now I'm gonna be putting on a little bit of this Holika Devil's Lip Plumper, and we're just gonna let them sit and cook. So now we're gonna go on to powdered contour, and we're just gonna reinforce the colors, and we're gonna layer that on top of where we put the contour earlier. I feel like contour and bronzer are really essential steps to Victoria's Secret angel makeup. It's just that I don't really use bronzer because I don't like to look orange, and I feel like bronzer does that to me because I am just way too fair skinned. Now it's time for powdered blush. Again, I'm gonna put it pretty high up, like where I put the cream blush. But I realized that for a lot of Victoria's Secret Angels, their blush is actually really light, which is great because I personally prefer lighter blush too. But it seems like the trends that have been going around is that people wear a lot of blush, which looks cute too, but I just feel like it doesn't look good on me. Alright, normally after this, I would do highlighter and highlight all of the parts on my face that I need to highlight, but highlight in this tutorial is actually a really important step to looking like a Victoria's Secret Angel. So I'm actually gonna do that last. Right now though, I'm gonna be doing eyes next. For eyeshadow, we're gonna keep it really simple, and I'm just gonna use my contour, and I'm not gonna use too much, and I'm just going to put it on my crease area just so that my eyes look like they have more dimension and depth. And now I'm gonna be putting a pink shade on my eyelids. So I'm gonna be using this 3CE palette in the shade Rose Latte. I feel like these models don't really do a lot with eyeshadow. I saw some would put like pink eyeshadow on. So I'm starting out with a lighter pink on my lid, and then I'll use a darker pink closer to my lash line. I'm gonna put some down here as well. Alright, for eyeshadow, that's all I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be adding the highlighter and shimmer later. So right now I'm gonna do eyeliner, and this is kind of important. So I'm just gonna use a gel pencil, and then I'm going to line my waterline. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'll be back.
Much later.
Alright guys, I've lined my waterline, and I also went ahead and did mascara. I'm just gonna be sticking with my natural lashes today because I feel like these models, they often have pretty natural looking lashes, although they're long, of course.
That's suspicious.
Alright, now I'm finally going to be doing highlighter. And I'm gonna be using this MAC highlighter. So I'm gonna be using a fan brush, and I'm just gonna be highlighting the top of my cheekbone. Now normally when I highlight my face, I would go here and then go out. But this time, I'm gonna be putting the highlighter over here, right underneath my eyebrow. Now I would normally use my fingers to do my nose, but today I'm just gonna be using a brush instead. Because I found that when I use a brush, the shine just looks shinier. And I'm gonna be putting some at the tip of my nose and in the middle over here. Then with the small little dot I put on my nose, I'm gonna be blending this one up. So now we have that, and now we're gonna move into the eyes. So I'm taking the leftover on my brush from my nose, and I'm just gonna put that really close to my eyes down here. Okay, and now we're gonna be doing inner corner highlight, which is pretty important because all of those Victoria's Secret Angels all have that blinding inner corner highlight. So I'm gonna be putting some right here in the inside, and what I'm also gonna be doing is I'm gonna be bringing it to kind of on top of my eyelid as well. I don't know what it is about inner corner highlight that just looks good on everyone. Alright, I'm also gonna be putting a little bit more underneath my eyebrows. Wow, alright, I've never worn this much highlighter. Okay, now we're gonna do the lips, and this is probably the most simple lips I've ever done. I'm just gonna be using this Romand Glasting Melting Balm, but really any pink gloss would do. I'm not gonna be lining my lips because I want to keep my mouth looking as natural as I can, and I'm just dabbing it on so that the pigment won't be too extreme. And now all I need to do is put on these nice earrings and use some setting spray, and now I have officially completed Victoria's Secret Angel makeup. But you guys may have seen that VS Angels often have perfect skin, so their makeup can look a little bit more natural than what I have done. So I have developed a skincare routine that really helps me to maintain my sensitive skin and make sure that I don't get inflammatory acne so often. The video is right over here, so click on it and I'll see you there.